Welcome back. Welcome back to the Sports Desk Live. All right. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. All right. So we got a different spin, different type of show. This is for the city of Jacksonville. Me and the host of this show has been already talked about as homers. Well, we are because we live here. We live here. But my name is Dedrick L. Hicks Jr., one half of your sportsologist. And I'm going to kick it over to the host of the show, man, so he can introduce himself.
Yes, sir. It's Mr. Move Them Chains, man. One third of your sportsologist, NFL correspondent, college football correspondent. It's me. It's your boy, the
Yes,
homer.
sir.
You can call me what you want to call me. It is what it is. But this is a show for the hometown, man. This for Duval.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? This is what we go do. This is the Jaguars weekly matchup show. We just go break down each week the key matchups for hopefully a Jaguars victory, a lot of Jaguars victory. We go break down the key matchups, you know, for the Jaguars for each week. We hope y'all enjoy the show. Make sure you like and subscribe. Please do that. Hit the thumbs up button. You know what I'm saying? Show your boy some love. Leave some comments too, so we can answer some questions next week. You know, but just getting into it, man. AD, I appreciate you giving me this platform to be able to speak to the people.
You know what I'm saying? My man. Absolutely.
Trusting me with this thing, man. We go rock this thing out. We go make this thing happen. So,
sure.
Just getting straight into it, man. We go talk about what I feel like is the key matchup on offense, and that's drum roll. That's Calvin Ridley. That's Calvin Ridley, man. You already know. A big addition to this offense that was already explosive last year. You know, but the one thing that we was missing was a guy who could take the top off. And now we got that. D, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you know who Dallas Flowers or Darrell Baker is?
I think they stay in my neighborhood. But other than that,
they stay in your neighborhood. You may have some guys that stay in your neighborhood that whose name is that, but those are the two starting cornerbacks for the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Good luck.
Ooh, sounds like food.
It sounds like food to me too. It's gonna be interesting to see how Doug Peterson introduces Calvin Ridley into this offense, because all offseason we've been wondering and trying to figure out how is he going to use this new toy, and we go figure it out Sunday. I don't think he gonna show everything because he got to save some, because that boy coming next week.
Yes,
and
he's
mad.
He's very upset.
Yeah, but this week I think you go see kind of a little preview of how he wants to incorporate him into the offense along with all the other offensive weapons that we have. I feel like it's going to be key for Calvin Ridley because he hasn't played in almost 2 years.
Right.
Which Calvin Ridley are we going to see? Are we going to see the Calvin Ridley of old? Or will this be a new kind of let me figure out how I can incorporate myself? How aggressive would he be? How aggressive would Doug be? Will they look to get him in the ball first, or will they just incorporate him into the offense the way they incorporate everybody into the offense last year? Which is, if you're open, you're getting the ball. If you ain't, good luck.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Calvin really is going to go through a growing pain, so to speak? I mean, he hasn't played football in almost what is it? 2 years? Like a year and a
It's almost been 2 years. I think it'll be 2 years in October. I think he left the game in October of 2021.
Right. So he hasn't played. You know, is it going to be a grace period for Calvin Ridley getting his win back? I mean, I know the fans are excited. I'm excited. You're excited. We live right down here in Jacksonville, Florida. Our ears are to the stadium and everything else that's going on around here. But realistically, Rashad, even though the Colts, let's just keep it real, the Colts are not somebody on paper that people are taking seriously at all. The only people who should be taking the Colts seriously are the Jacksonville Jaguar players, because they have to go out there and play them. But
of course.
Do you think Calvin Ridley, do you think that being in shape, do you think he's going to struggle? Realistically, what do you expect to see in his first full game in almost 2 years?
I think I expect to see them slowly introduce him into the offense, not give him 15 targets in his first game in almost 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's good that he's in this offense because he doesn't have to be the Calvin Ridley of 2 years ago right off the bat, because he has Evan Ingram, he has Christian Kirk, he has Zay Jones, he has Tank Bigsby, he has guys that can carry this offense until he gets acclimated back into being in real football shape, because it is a such thing besides being in shape and being in football shape. And he's got to get himself in football shape. The last thing you want to do is pull something or do something trying to no. Just get yourself right and we gonna be all right. So that's gonna be the most intriguing thing that I think is gonna be on this offense. I expect for everybody else to be who they are. All the other starters are returning except for your right tackle. You got a brand new right tackle that you just drafted this year. So we're gonna see where this offense can go now that they have somebody that can take the top off. All your intermediate stuff is going to be there still. But it's going to be you got a guy now that can really threaten the ball down the field, especially in this defense that oh shoot, what's the coach, I forgot our old coach. Anyway, his defense, Gus Bradley does not let you throw the ball down the field. He just doesn't. He dares you to throw the ball down the field. That's why all the underneath stuff is always open. So now that you actually have a threat to get the ball down the field, the underneath stuff is going to be even more open now. So Calvin Ridley, definitely the key on the offense this week. Just what we want to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely rocking with you, man. I think this is the perfect situation for him because Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, like, listen, man, like the offense is formidable. The Jacksonville Jaguars hit a beautiful run at the end of the season going into the playoffs. So the confidence is there. Like these guys have a rapport with one another. I think Ridley is the perfect type of receiver that has that number one receiver build. He has that number one receiver explosiveness. He has that number one receiver, just everything, the hands, the ingredients for a number one receiver he has. But the beautiful thing about this is the Jaguars was already scoring 30-plus points without him.
Exactly.
Without him. So now he's going to be a matchup nightmare. And this is what I think we're going to see on Sunday. I don't think the Colts know what to expect. I think the Jaguars are coming in, with Lady Luck on their side because you got an NFL defense and NFL defensive coaches that are kind of like, man, who's going to be featured here? Who's going to be featured here? Where are they going to go? How are they going to use Ridley? Did you see this in the preseason game against the Dolphins? They lined Ridley and Christian Kirk on the same side of the field one play. And they did kind of like this crisscross route underneath, and Ridley got free up the sideline and caught that beautiful catch. I mean, just stuff like that Dougie P can draw up excites me, man. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So, yeah.
Of course. So that's gonna be the thing that you're looking for, man. How are they gonna utilize him, and how does the offense look? Is it crisp? I think it's gonna be. I think it's the second year in the offense for everybody except him. So everybody else is gonna be working on a different frequency, and all he got to do is just give him about 4 or 5 games, and then we go really see what it is. But if he start off hot, oh boy. If he start off hot, oh boy.
I agree.
Listen, the next thing that we gonna talk about though is this defense.
Yes, sir.
And for me, the key matchup on the defense is one man, Devin Lloyd.
Yes, sir.
It's Lloyd, man.
Yes, sir.
Devin Lloyd had a tough year last year. He started off pretty good. He was actually the defensive player of the month, if anybody remembers that. Defensive player of the month in September. But boy, he struggled the rest of the season, man. You would literally see.
He did.
You would literally see Foye Oluokun trying to line this man up on damn near every play.
Yeah.
Right before the snap.
Right.
We can't have that. And I believe that this year, there's going to be a certain level of comfort in that defense to where he doesn't have to have that, and he can just show his pure athleticism. Right. And it's going to be key because you got a guy now on the Colts, Anthony Richardson, who you got to tackle him. If you don't tackle him, You better tackle him. I don't know if he gonna beat you with his arm, but he'll beat you over the top. That intermediate stuff, I don't know. He go
We gonna
throw it
see.
100 miles an hour. We
We
gonna
gonna
see.
see.
We gonna see. But to make sure that you can corral this man, there's gonna be one man that I'm looking for to make sure that happens, and that's Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
And if Devin has the year, this is a former first round pick from last year. He's 25 years old, so he's not a young man. He's young, but he's not.
He's entering his prime
years
years.
old.
He's entering his prime
He's,
years.
He's entering his prime years, so he should be a little more mature now than he was last year as a rookie. He should speed up his process by him being 25 years old.
All right.
Now it should be a better process for him. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they utilize Devin Lloyd. They've been talking about using him as a defensive end sometimes. I listen, whichever way I think he had 8 sacks his senior year. So he can rush the faster. He can run. He has that ability, and we're gonna need it because we don't know what the heck we go get out of our 2 defensive ends. That's a different story for a different day. But we go figure out what we got in him this year.
Well, this is a part of it, man, because Devin Lloyd, you know, I agree with you. The first 3 games of the season, we was like, oh wow. You know, we knew we were getting a good piece, but this kid was trying to be all world. You know what I'm saying? When he first got here to Jacksonville, like you said, I don't know if he went through injuries last year. I don't know if something had to take place. Something had to take place because that just couldn't have been NFL tape that was causing him to suffer some of the deficiencies that he suffered up until I want to say I really didn't hear Devin Lloyd name again into that Jets game in December.
Yeah.
I mean, he started popping back on my TV screen. Then he made a couple of plays against Dallas earlier in the month in that fourth quarter going into overtime. But I was like, man, something's up with this kid. But the potential is there. He has good ball skills. He can tackle. Yeah. And I think, like you said, second year in this defense, things are going to be slowing down. The confidence is there. See, this is the thing for the Jaguars this year is the confidence. This team is confident. They've been through hell and high water. Me, Rashad, and Black did a podcast called The Sports Desk. You can check it out on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. And it was weary about these Jaguars. We were weary about these Jags. But something in me kept saying, y'all, it ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over. We got to hold tight. And it's like week by week, they start getting better. And Devin Lloyd was a part of that. He was a part of that into the fourth quarter season. So, Rashad, I hope you're right. Hopefully the maturity is there. Things have slowed down and the confidence is there. But I would be curious one day to hear what happened. What happened to Devin Lloyd during the first half of last year, for sure.
Yeah. He talked about it. He talked about how he wasn't as healthy as what he felt like he should be. And he felt like he kind of hit a wall. You know, where he was just trying to really figure it out. And then you start pressing. You know what I'm saying? You can't press. You got to be able to just play. You got to know your assignment and just react. Because once you go out there and start thinking, boom, touchdown. It is what it is. You got to go back to the sideline and do you some thinking. Because when you're on that field, you can't do no thinking. Misdirection is going to be a thing too. You know, and he was bad with with his eye discipline last year.
They caught him slipping, baby.
They catch him slipping all the time. So now Shane Steichen is going to see that. He was the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He played against Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd did not have that was his first bad game of the season against Philadelphia, and it was horrible. So Shane Steichen go look right back at that film and try to key in on Devin Lloyd. No. You got to be ready, Devin. You got to be, and he got a boy now that's bigger, stronger, and faster than Hurts.
Yes, he does.
They may not have the offensive weapons that he have, and Jonathan Taylor being out is big.
That is big.
It's big, but he's worth 3 Jonathan Taylors when it comes to running that football. He really is. He might be just as fast as Jonathan Taylor, and he's bigger.
And stronger, probably.
And stronger. So now, that's what we're going to have to deal with on that defense. So, Devin Lloyd, if you're listening, do your thing, dog.
If you just so happen to see this.
If you just so happen to see this, no, we at the sports desk rooting for you, man.
Yeah,
We
no
rooting
doubt.
for you. So
No doubt.
yeah,
No
yeah,
doubt.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, man, we got to make that happen. So overall feel of the game, right? To me, if the Jaguars tackle, they win this game.
Yeah.
If they turn them over, they win this game. If the Colts get turnovers, that's the way they can win this game. Take care of the ball. That's all the If the Jaguars take care of the football, this should be a pretty comfortable win. They're going to throw out all the stops. They're the ones that have, I mean, it's the first game of the season, but they're the ones who everybody say they have no business even on the field with the Jaguars. So you know how they go field. You seen what happened last night, going for a fake punt on your 20.
Yep.
You got to look out for all that kind of stuff, man. So
They're going to pull the tricks out.
Yeah.
They're going to pull them out for sure.
They start pulling them tricks out, and the game can change. But all you have to do is just play your game. Play your game, Jaguars, and you should be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that as well. I just think the Jaguars are the better team. And I said this on the live show back a couple of days ago. You guys can watch both of those after you're done watching this show. I said that the Colts are not going to be an easy out. And what I mean by that is, on paper, yeah, the Jaguars should beat them by 3 touchdowns. But when you have to go out there and play a divisional opponent, you know the mystique that comes with that. Now, for granted, there's a lot of newer pieces for the Colts that really don't know too much about this rivalry, but there are some pieces that are there that do know about this rivalry. So the team's going to be ready to go, and then they have nothing to lose. The Colts, no one expects the Colts to do anything this year. Matter of fact, I've seen it penciled in. Peter King already got them being the top 5 pick in the draft next year. So there's no one who has the Colts doing anything, and those are the teams that are the hardest to put away. Look at the Houston Texans last year. Who was on their roster? But every time you looked up, somebody was fighting for their life against the Texans. I mean,
they beat us in Jacksonville.
They deep into the fourth quarter against Houston. So Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning coach, mature coach. This guy got the pulse on this team. Hey, Jazz got to take this seriously. This is a business trip. Get off this plane, walk into Lucas Oil, bash they domes, go back on this plane, and get down here to the Bangum, and let's get it ready for next week. That's how I feel about it, man.
That's right. That's right. I mean, that's exactly how I feel about it too. On as far as the Jaguars going against the Colts defense, the Colts have playmakers on their defense.
They do.
Not in the secondary, but they got DeForest Buckner. They got Shaq Leonard. They got Kwity Paye. Those are good players. Those are good players. Those players right there, if you are not keying in on them, can wreck your game. DeForest Buckner can wreck your game plan.
Yes, he can.
Shaq Leonard is a former All-Pro. I'm pretty sure he's been an All-Pro before. So this is a good linebacker. He's been hurt lately. You know what I'm saying? The defense has had some injuries. They had some turnover. But don't kid yourself. This game can be lost. So if we don't come out and play our game, this game can be lost. But I just don't see a scenario how in the world the Jaguars could lose this game. It wouldn't make sense to me. But crazier things have happened in week 1.
Yeah, they've happened. Yeah, of course. I mean, just like you said, listen, if they're not focused or dialed in, then they can lose this football game. And the last thing that either myself or definitely you need is to around 4:30 and 5 o'clock looking at the AFC South standings and seeing the Jaguars in last place.
Oh my God. Even if it's after last one, that shit just never happen, especially when you playing a rookie quarterback. I don't care. You could be playing them at Cuckoo Park. You should beat a rookie quarterback. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you are past that now. And if you not past that, then we got some bigger things going on in Jacksonville. So to me, this shouldn't be a game that you're sweating. This game should be well out of reach by the time we get to the fourth quarter. And the only way that won't happen is if you're not disciplined with your eyes while you're playing Anthony Richardson and you're allowing him to run for 30 and 40 yards and it's 3rd and 8 and he's getting 9. No, man. No. You got to make sure that you're clamping down on him. And if you start fast, you'll be okay, because it's going to force him to have to do things that he's not really comfortable with doing, what his coaching staff is probably not comfortable with him doing right now. So just play your game, man. Play your game, and we should be fine.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, man. So to me, coaching advantage. I'm gonna talk about the coaching advantage every week, because I feel like coaching, to me, above players, is probably the most important thing on a football field. You better have your coach. If you have a great coach, it is the great equalizer. You see it all the time.
Right.
All the talent in the world with no coach, nah. Somebody got to organize this thing.
Agreed.
It's Shane Steichen's first game. He's never been a head coach before. Great offensive coordinator. Great offensive mind. His team got to the Super Bowl last year. But it's his first time being a head coach. So I cannot put him over Dougie P. Dougie P got a Super Bowl as a head coach and took his team to several different divisional championships and got the Jaguars, of all teams, a divisional championship last year. So you know that we have the coaching advantage. We have the coaching advantage this Sunday. But Doug got to be on his A game. All our coaches got to be on their A game, because they go throw the kitchen sink at you on Sunday. You can believe that. They want to win this game. They want to start off. They've heard all the talk. All those players have been the same way the Jaguars have been disrespected over the years. That team is being disrespected now. So you don't think they want to win this game? Absolutely they do. So now you have to go out and you got to do your thing.
Right. This is going to be a game where the kitchen sink is going to be thrown at the Jaguars in the first half of this game. The Colts are going to determine how hard they really try to beat the Jaguars in the first 2 quarters of this game. If we go to halftime and the game is 14-17, or if it's tied 14-14, or you're talking about 10-7 type of half, listen, Frank Wright's going to hold some things back for the second half, just in case. Just in case the Jaguars come in there sleepy, just in case if Trevor Lawrence coming there throwing picks, Etienne fumbling, anything going on out there that's going to keep the Colts in this game, especially in the first half. Look, this is going to be terrible territory for the Jaguars in the second half.
Yeah.
They can't afford that. Like I say, Frank Wright is an experienced coach. All right. He's been a part of some.
Shane Steichen.
Sorry, I'm tripping. Frank Wright got fired. He's with the Panthers.
He got fired.
He's with the Panthers.
He's with
the Panthers. Excuse me, Shane Steichen. The coaching carousel happens so much, you be forgetting who is who sometimes. But Mr. Steichen, part of a winning franchise last season with the Philadelphia Eagles, he knows about winning culture. He's a brilliant mind, and his coaching staff is going to. They're probably meeting right now, Rashad. They probably meeting right now and say, you know what, man, we ain't got nothing to lose, man. Go on and go to page 26 of the playbook and throw it at them.
Yeah, throw it at
them. Fake punt, fumble-rooski, hell, man. I mean, all kind of wild stuff they probably gonna be throwing out there. Yeah. Because when you look at it on paper, like, come on, man, the Jaguars should win this game by 3 scores. So you're right about that. Dougie P, I don't think he will let that happen. All right. Dougie P really changed the culture overnight. We've seen and felt and heard the dismay that Urban Meyer and his coaching staff, how they had the Jaguars in disarray. It was a very sad time around here when Urban Meyer was the head coach of the Jaguars. So for Doug Peterson to take a lifeless, no confidence fan base and players and turn it into what he turned it into, I just don't see him not having these guys prepared coming off last season, going into this season, especially against a team who has no business. Let's just keep it real. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence should have his helmet in his hands in the fourth quarter of this game.
He should, and he probably will, because last year, he was in the 2 games we played against the Colts. This man had a over 80% completion percentage. Did you know that?
I did not know that. 80%. Wow.
I think he was 84, 86% passing. Literally.
That's crazy.
in both games. And it's because of that defense that Gus Bradley plays. Everything is open underneath, and that's what we want to play anyway. But now we got a jet. So
yes, we do.
You can play that underneath stuff if you want to, but we got a jet now. So you got to respect everything. So either everything underneath is gonna be open and you gonna try to blanket everything in the top, but it's not gonna work. Because as soon as you start doing that, we gonna hand it to ET and we gonna run a screen. We gonna do all kind of stuff. So this game,
unlimited possibilities, man.
Unlimited possibilities with this game in particular.
Right.
So to me, giving a prediction, to me, this game should be 31-17 at the most. And that's with a late touchdown. That's what a late. It should be 31-10 going into the fourth, or 24-10 going into the fourth. We score, they score once. Game is out of hand. This should not be. I should not be sweating this game at all.
Right.
I shouldn't. There's no reason. And if I am, it's because it's week one. You know what I'm saying? Things happen in week one. I'm not going to be nervous. But as long as we win the game, just win the game. But you should win this game handily because it's too much. You got a brand new head coach. You got a rookie quarterback. They don't have any receivers on the outside to speak of. No burners. I mean, they got a couple of guys, but they guys. Yeah. You know, your defense should be able to keep up with those guys.
Right.
Especially with a rookie quarterback and a rookie coach. So to me, 31-17 should be the final of this game at bare minimum.
Okay.
And we go see.
I'm right along the lines with you. I have it 31-10. That's what I have it as. I feel like this is the opportunity for the Jags to put the NFL on notice. You don't play around with this opportunity because, number one, I mean, hey, this is a tune-up as well because you got a pissed off Super Bowl champion that's probably already booked his flight to get down here to Jacksonville, and the game is still 14 days away. Yeah. So he's trying to get down here, and he's also bringing the best tight end of all time with him, who most likely is going to play in that game. So for Jacksonville, you need to set some momentum, set the tone, get the confidence going, get clicking on all cylinders. Like, go ahead and establish that, hey, we took care of business with the Colts, and now we're setting ourselves up for this beautiful opportunity against defending champs. So I'm going along the lines of 31-10. I'm going to say no more than 31-14. And I expect Trevor Lawrence to be on the sideline with his hands on the shoulder pads, standing next to Calvin Ridley and Dougie P, already talking about the Chiefs game going into next week. Now, I'm going to say this. I bet not be in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, and it's 31-28, and we need Trevor to go down here and have a come-to-Jesus meeting with the Colts defense to win the game.
Bro.
I'm not trying to disparage that.
I can't see a scenario that's going to happen. I really believe.
I hope not. Because what happened last year?
I believe that this team has turned the corner.
Well, let me ask you this. Turned the corner. I agree with you. Now, if you can go all the way back to game one last year against Houston, did you think the Jaguars going to lose to the Texans?
We played the Commanders last year, week one. But
I thought we played the Commanders week two. Week two. We played the Texans week one.
Remember, I went to that game.
That's right. That's right. You was all over the country last year.
I went there last year, and we played the Commanders in that god awful stadium. I can't wait till they rebuild that thing because that stadium is ridiculous.
That was a loss, right?
That was a loss. That was the conversation we had when I told you, hey, this man's got to be developed. We can't talk about generational until he gets developed.
But you don't feel that way this year.
I do not feel that way this year.
Okay.
Big G on generational. So
good deal.
So yeah, and it was the same feel. I felt like there was no way that the Commanders was gonna win that game. Right. And first drive of the game, ETN wide open in the end zone, overthrew him.
Yeah, erratic.
A lot of different ways that they did not take advantage of the opportunities that they have, and that's the same thing that can happen in this game. You got an away game. You got a team that's being disrespected. Nobody thinks that they're going to do anything. Same scenario like last year. But the difference is this team was coming off of being demoralized by Urban, by that coaching, like you talked about earlier. And now they're coming into a season where it's the second year with Doug Peterson. I think they only have one starter that's not coming back. I think it's only one starter that's not coming back on the entire team.
Right.
So now you're looking at a scenario where it's camaraderie. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's on the same page. There should not be a scenario where, you don't have Shaq. Shaq. What's your boy name that got dusted last year?
I don't want to say his name, but go ahead, continue.
You don't have him on the team anymore. He's in Houston. So now you don't have to worry about that anymore. So you shouldn't have to worry about somebody doing something like that.
Yeah, Shaquille Griffin, for anybody who's wondering.
Shaquille Griffin. Jesus. So now you, like I said, you're in a scenario where this team is really, really ready. This team is ready to take off. And I'm predicting that this takeoff starts on Sunday.
All right.
At 1 o'clock. I believe on Fox.
On Fox, yes, right. So Jacksonville Jaguars, Indianapolis Colts out in Indianapolis in Lucas Oil Field House. 1 o'clock kick on Fox. We're gonna see the Jaguars have a lot of hype. I mean, you watch and if you watch a bunch of the daily shows out there, you know, the Colin Cowherds and Peter Kings, and a lot of people are high on the Jags. Peter King has the Jaguars been the number 1 seed in the AFC this year. People have Trevor Lawrence in the top 5 of the MVP carousel this year. There's a lot of love for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I can't remember a time in recent memory that there's been legit concern and hype for the Jags. Not even coming off the AFC run with Blake Bortles and that Saxonfield defense. I think that was a flash in the pan opportunity for the Jaguars. Now that you look at, of course, in the moment, we all feel like the Jaguars going to win the Super Bowl because that defense was historical, man. They were. But this is different. You got that beautiful blue-eyed angel with that long, blonde, shiny hair, who is a true angel given to this city. You have a top 5 head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach, bundles and bundles of talent. And the city is ready for this. So Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, y'all represent how y'all house parties. Y'all be safe. Whatever y'all doing, everybody show up. Me and my family, we going over to my sister's house, man. We're going to rock out over there and just kind of have that camaraderie. So, you know, the team can feel the energy all the way up there in Indianapolis, for sure.
That's right.
For sure. Well, before we roll out, man, we're going to give us some money. Y'all want to make some money? Anybody want to make some money? All right, want to make some money and win some cash with the sports desk. All right, current lines for this game. Money line bet right now. The Jaguars are minus 225. Indianapolis Colts plus 180. If you're a betting man and you trying to make you a couple of dollars, I would definitely suggest you take the money line at minus 225 for the Jaguars to win this game. Point spread on this game. Now, this is one that some people might feel froggy on. Now, I think it's a hell of a disrespect to the Colts for the Jaguars to be a 4.5 favorite on the road. Now, if you know NFL games, the home team usually gets 3 points. That's usually standard. Right. But the Colts, the Vegas thinks the Colts are going to be so bad that not only did they not give them 3 points and gave it to the Jags, they also gave the Jags an additional 1.5. But I'm gonna say this, Rashad, in my stomach. If you're a risk taker, I'm gonna tell you to take the Colts plus 4.5. Take the Colts plus 4.5 if you are a risk taker. Now, if you're trying to be a smart man, then go ahead and roll with that 4.5 for the Jaguars. But this is a risk taker game, and if you guys that they're putting out parlays or sports tickets, you know you always got to have that one game that nobody might necessarily was going to mess with, and that could cash your ticket. So that could be one to look into. That could be one to look into. For sure. And the total over-under is 46 points for this game. I think this goes under. I just don't see the Colts. 46 points. Jaguars score 31. The Colts score 10. So that's a total of 41 points. Rashad had 31-17?
Yeah, 31-17.
So that'll put you right at the 46-point mark. So if I'm a betting man, I would take the under of this 46 points of the Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. Right. They could not score like they did the first game we played them. It was 24-0.
Yeah, we could just totally wash them, man. So I think the best bet, the safest bet, is take the 46
Take the
points
Take
under.
the under.
All right.
Definitely.
Rashad, you want to wrap us up, man, before we shut down the first ever debut edition, man, of the weekly Jaguars matchup show, man?
Listen, man, it's a good year to be a Jaguar fan. Y'all know what I said. I said we gonna win it all this year.
Yes,
if you
you
listen
did.
to the Sports Desk Live, I said the Jaguars are gonna win it all. They gonna have the #1 seed. They gonna win it all. It's not just because I'm a fan. Trust me. If you've been looking at this team, you know that this thing been brewing.
Yes, it has.
It took them. They lost a game by possession to the eventual champs. That's who stood in their way of getting to the AFC Championship game. So
On the
you're
road.
already looking at a team, right, with Mahomes, with already the second best quarterback to ever play the game. So now you're looking at a team that's got all the confidence in the world. They've added weapons. They got second year in the system. They got the talent around them. We go see what happened, man. But first game of the year, dub. Second game of the year, we'll see y'all next week and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely, man. So this is what we'll be doing here on the Sports Desk Live YouTube channel. Not only will we have live shows, we'll have pre-recorded content dedicated to various sports topics. And since we are from Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, we will definitely be spending some well-deserved attention to our hometown team every single week. Hence the name of the show, Weekly Jaguars Matchup Show with Mr. Move Them Chains, Rashad Robinson. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, share this episode, hit that thumbs up if you're watching. It does us a great favor, and it puts us in favor with the YouTube algorithm. All right, so we appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Appreciate your support, and we'll see you next week as we talk Jaguars and Chiefs. Oh my.
Yes, sir. Go Jags.